I think they would probably have a lot to say if we were going to sit here and say, we're not going to approve this design, but where we're saying we.
Good evening or afternoon. We're in the transition here. This is a meeting of the Moscow Zoning Board of Adjustment. It's a special meeting with a real limited agenda where we are going to discuss the relevant criteria following a decision we made last week. So without further ado, I'll bring this meeting to order. And first thing is, are there any comments from the members of the board about the relevant criteria as presented to us by staff?
I saw Marshall's comment earlier. I agreed with it. I thought it looked okay.
Looks fine to me.
Yeah, and I sent one correction to staff, and that was taken care of. So I think we're ready to entertain a motion then.
Okay. I'd move approval of the relevant criteria and standards as presented, the amended version by staff. I second that.
So we have a motion by Marshall Comstock, second by Mr. Hume. Let's go ahead with a roll call vote. We'll start with Marshall.
Aye.
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 All right, so we have approved and accepted those relevant criteria, and that should finish the business of that SUP that was presented to us last week. Is there any other business that any member or staff wants to bring before the board?
Yes, so the other item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from last week as well.
And that's my mistake. I forgot about that. So we will, if you didn't catch that, we do need to take a look at the minutes from last week's meeting. And once again, I'll open it up to the board if they have any comments or corrections about that.
I don't.
No?
No, I move that we accept the minutes as they're presented here.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion to accept the minutes as presented, a second, and no further comment. All right, let's do it roll call again. We'll start with Mark this time.
Aye.
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 All right, so minutes from last week's meetings have been discussed and approved. And then once again, I'll throw it open to whether or not there's any further business anyone wants to bring up.
This question for Becky. Did we find out whether that other application came through or not?
Yes, so we have received that application. We'll have a conditional use permit scheduled for October 22nd. And I'll be sending an email with more detail on that probably tomorrow.
Okay.
So with that, I think we're ready to entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
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 Yeah.
I love these kind of meetings.
I know, these are the
Hey, that was a good one.
All right.
as promised.
A very good example of a project where the property was assessed. We needed to do a few things to it, and it actually then met the criteria